welcome to the show. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. Great to meet you, Kristen. My name is Ali Khan Lalani. I'm the CEO and founder of General Assembly Foods located downtown Toronto. Back in 2017, we set out on a path to create a brand that was customer-driven, design-driven, and most importantly, quality pizza-driven. And our mission in 2017 was to create the future of pizza, and that I think is more relevant now than it's ever been before.
Oof, I love that one-liner of creating the future of pizza. Can you expand, what does that mean? Especially, I think a lot of our listeners are in the US, and the US is very oversaturated with pizza options, I would say, and a lot of them being not really super high quality pizza options, like looking at Domino's and Papa John's type stuff. What does the future of pizza look like to you? How are you kind of chasing that down?
For us, the future of pizza all started with the dough. And there was a lot of pizza in the market in Toronto, but we wanted to spring into the market and go back to ancient techniques, and that's naturally leavened dough, naturally occurring yeast, which derives a spectacular tasting product that's easy to digest and has the most flavor. So we thought, let's start at the base and go from there. And that was sort of the impetus to opening back in 2017. Back in 2017 in Canada, not accepting cash was new. Quality wine, really quality wine on tap was new. And the idea of kind of separating dining, so having tech-focused pickup shelves and app-based pickups out of a separate entrance, and then having, your typical dining room separated from that was also very new in 2017, and it was all framed in creating the future of pizza.
It's almost like when I'm hearing you say these things, I have now seen a lot of restaurants and cafes do this, like the mobile orders are in a different section and there's a different door and there's an app that they've come out with. But a lot of that happened in the last year as kind of forced behavior because they needed options in a pandemic where everything was closed. Sounds like you guys have been ahead of that by about 3 years. So when the pandemic hit, were you guys pretty posed to keep succeeding?
Early days of the pandemic, and I mean day one, I looked at our dining room, and our restaurant is about 3,500 square feet, and about 70% of that is our dining room. But I felt very fortunate that day because we had a separate entrance for couriers and we had a separate entrance for takeout and delivery, and pizza just happens to be naturally predisposed for takeout and delivery. So out of all the food businesses that we could have been in, we felt very lucky to be in the pizza business in those early days. Yeah.
I love that you mentioned how important the integration of retail and tech is for the brand. And we just had a really great conversation with another brand owner who's kind of opening kind of like a mini department store. And their entire thesis is, how can we bridge tech in real life to make this like super holistic experience? And that feels to me kind of like the foundation of the future of retail is, how can tech come in and help the in real life experience that is so powerful in retail? How have you guys, I guess, where did that decision come from, that strategy, and how have you executed on really integrating the technology side of it while maintaining the power of like that human to human connection that retail gives you?
Even if I bring it back to 2017, introducing an app-based pickup and a pickup shelf just for orders where we would literally put, whether it was one pizza or 20 pizzas on a shelf with somebody's name on it, they'd literally walk in, see their name, take the box or boxes and bags and walk out the front door. The use of technology in our business was to make the experience better, to make the experience more seamless, to increase order accuracy, to let customers hit a button on a repeat order that was saving them time, and ultimately framed up with the goal of trying to save time and trying to give customers the best experience they wanted. A brand located downtown Toronto in a relatively tech-forward part of town, we thought that we need to be, not only do we need to have a great product, but we need to make it really easy to navigate through that product.
Yeah, anybody who has listened to more than one episode of Resilient is going to know that you just hit on like my golden statement that I live by, which is everything comes down to the customer experience. And so to hear that, really, no matter what you're doing, whether it's are you doing discounts or sales or how your store is designed, all the way down to the technology you pick is based on the customer experience. You're not just having tech because it's the new thing to do and somebody in Silicon Valley tells you need that tech operation. It's because the technology empowers the customer experience to be even better, almost without the customer realizing. It's not like the customer is saying like, oh, the technology of this place is so good. They're just saying, oh my God, the experience was fantastic. I walked in, it was right there on the shelf. I walked out, it was a beautiful space. Easy peasy.
Absolutely. And I think the use of technology from a CX perspective isn't something you see, it's something you feel. And when you feel it, it becomes second nature, and then you want to keep doing it because it was such a great experience for you as a customer.
Yes. Oh, I love that pull quote right there. We're going to pull that one out for sure. That's fantastic. I am curious about your interest in pizza. And this is, we've almost gone just like backwards in this interview. But for me, I feel like pizza lovers are very like loyal to the pizza shops they choose. They are very passionate about pizza. Was there a reason that you went the pizza route? Was it the kind of business opportunity, or was there some personal connection to like, I just want to start a pizza place?
You know, it's a real story of luck and true love. When I was at the ripe age of 18 years old, I happened to be in Naples, and I had absolutely zero desire to spend any time in Naples because at that time I had no clue that Naples was actually the birthplace of pizza. I ran from the train station to the port to catch a ferry to the Amalfi Coast. I was a young backpacker back then. I missed the ferry. And it was around noon and I was starving, and I started walking through the port of Naples, and I found a pizzeria called Solo Pizza that I think is still there today. And I saw a whole bunch of Italians drinking wine and beer outside. They looked jovial, and I thought, I want to be like them. So I got in line, ordered a beer, and I got to the front, and there was two pizzas on the menu, a margarita and a marinara. Both pizzas I had never heard of in my entire life. They were like €3. I was like, I'll get one of each. And those pizzas came, and I ate. I took the first bite of the food. I ended up eating the both pizzas probably within 15 minutes. And I was like, this was the most prolific food moment of my life. I had never had anything that was as satisfying and fresh and tasty in my life. And from that day forward, I started obsessing over pizza. I came back to Canada and I started, traveling. I based my travel based on, can I go to Phoenix so I can go to Pizzeria Bianco? Can I go to New York so I can go to, Roberto's and Locali? Can I, so it was one of those things that just became ingrained in me. And as a young multi-unit franchisee in the franchise business, I sold those businesses in 2015 to pursue my dream. And my dream was to own a pizza business.
Oh, I love that story so much. And I love how you then, like we talk a lot about in retail, how sometimes retail can become like a mecca for fans. I think it was like, was it season 1? We talked to Beard Brand and they opened a salon. And now that salon barbershop is actually a mecca for their customers. And I feel like pizza has that kind of mecca feeling of what you're saying, like, oh, I can go to Phoenix to go to this place that feels like a mecca of an experience. Then I'll go to New York and have this like mecca of an experience. And then pulling that all together and then creating your own kind of like, this is my mecca of pizza, and coming back to that original story and having that emotion and feeling behind it. The more and more I hear these stories, the more I realize that having some emotional, visceral connection to what you're doing and what you're selling is kind of the foundation of success. Without it, it's a lot harder to grow. With it, you can kind of follow that intuition and do really amazing things for your customers because it's coming from a place of the experience was so fantastic. I want to recreate that for other people.
I couldn't agree more with you. And when we set out to build a General Assembly brand, as you know, there's American pizza, New York pizza, and Italian pizza. There's all these awesome kinds of pizza. When we built General Assembly, we wanted to create a place that was diverse and inclusive. So we had plant-based options, vegetarian options, stacks of pepperoni. We also had beef pepperoni. We had halal options because, we're downtown Toronto and there's people from all over the world here. And we wanted to create a space where there was almost everybody felt like we were thinking of them, where they could sit together and break bread with their friend or their colleague or on a date and feel like there was something there that represented them and their values and how they wanted to experience food. Because ultimately pizza, that dough is your canvas and you can put anything you want on it and create something really special.
It's only 10:28 in the morning for me, and I have an intense craving for pizza now, so I know what I will be doing for lunch. Good thing it's already on my menu for the week. And I love this conversation on it really becomes a place for anybody to feel seen and heard. And that is so much bigger than the product you're selling. You're selling an experience. You're selling a space for people to feel seen. And I think at the end of the day, all of us as humans just want to be seen and recognized for who we are. And that is such a fantastic mission to be able to come back to. I know that like hospitality and taking care of customers is rooted in your missions. Can you tell us a little bit about how you think about hospitality, how you meet the customer where they are, and the strategy behind that? Getting a little bit more into the tactics of it. Like, what does that commitment actually look like in practice?
I think service is something that's expected, and hospitality is something that comes from within in our business. And I think that people are really, really quick to pick up on when there's genuine hospitality displayed in a restaurant, because that's the mark of when you feel something, and that's the mark of when you feel something that a business has gone over and above to make you feel special. And that's the moment that you remember. And that's the reason why you tell your friends. And that's the reason why you come back. So from General Assembly, hospitality is ingrained in us. So we, every single day, every single week, every single month, our team is consistently looking at ways to make the guest experience better. And most of that is done through listening to customers and listening to what they want and making sure that we're a business that is, listening to our customers in a way where, when we had beef, we had a pepperoni pizza and we had a whole bunch of people saying, I can't eat pork. And we tried really hard to find a beef version. And when we would have, dates come into the restaurant, and our business was just built it was fast casual. You could pay easily. You got your own drink. You sat down. You didn't have to wait for your bill. It was very small things like having quality wine on tap and having split payments, so that when, a corporate group of 6 people came into the restaurant, everybody ordered what they wanted. Everybody paid their bill. Everybody sat down. So all those friction points, waiting for your bill, waiting for your drink, all of those things were removed at General Assembly. Yeah. And all of a sudden, it became a place where people could really easily navigate through our ecosystem.
Yeah. I love because fast casual sometimes can almost get this connotation where you think about, I hear fast casual, I think Chipotle. You walk in, you get your stuff, you go through the line, you get it, you pay, and then you go eat really quickly and you get out. Literally fast casual. But I love that you guys have been able to solve for more than that one type of customer. There are other people who want to come in, and clearly you guys have worked on the quality of the pairings of wine and pizza, and the space is beautiful. It's thoughtfully designed. You want people to be able to do the fast casual kind of process, but also you want people to be able to come in and have a long, slow, beautiful date that feels comfortable. So the ability to solve for multiple kind of customer experiences is a huge challenge. And really inspiring that you guys have been able to solve for all those different storylines.
Thank you. And I think the best part about how we tried to build a business that was based on individual taste, yet lets you go through the social act of eating pizza, which is just very social in nature, was the size of our pizzas. They're 10-inch pizzas. And when we were, doing market research before we opened, everybody in that space in Toronto was doing 11 and 12-inch pizzas, and anybody who was ordering in at their office was like, what do you want on your pizza? Let's split them half and half. And we thought, listen, let's build a brand and a pizza experience that if you're one person, it's perfect. But if you're 6 people and you want 5 different kinds of or 6 different kinds of pizzas on your table and you guys want to just co-share, let's do it. So it was kind of the idea that you always get what you want because the pizza is actually personal size. So it's kind of like a no compromise. And that I also think went a long way with our customers, because people inherently have unique taste and different dietary concerns, and they wanted to just feel like they could come to General Assembly and they could get whatever they wanted.
Oh, I love that so much. I know that there's kind of this offer that you guys have that is, quote, pizza 7 ways. And that really is kind of meeting the customer wherever. Can you explain what that pizza 7 ways means?
During the last year, we tried to really extend our product offering and try to meet our customers where they were. And that meant opening up to different ways to pizza. So we had dine-in, we had takeout, we had delivery. Well, now we also have consumer packaged goods at grocery. We have direct-to-consumer via our world's first pizza subscription. We also have catering. And those are all different ways that we're still making our unique General Assembly personal pizzas. We're just meeting our customers at different places and where they are today, which is a lot different than where they were about a year ago.
Oh, there's so many things in here that I want to dig into. Let's start with this world's first pizza subscription. When I saw this news, I saw it drop. I talked to your team. I was so excited. I come from the world of customer retention. I come from the world of subscriptions. I think more brands should be thinking subscription. One, I was just shocked that there has not been another pizza place that has done a pizza subscription. I order pizza at least once a month. I know this. And to put it on repeat would just make so much sense. So let's dig into that subscription offering. One, why did you guys kind of make that decision? How did you make it? And how are the customers responding to it?
So the pizza subscription happened by chance. We, in the early days of the pandemic, pivoted the business into frozen pizza. We just wanted to eat our frozen pizza and we couldn't. And we went to grocery store after grocery store and frozen pizza was sold out for days. And there was limits on frozen pizza. And we're like, let's just make our own. So we made our own pizza. And it was starting to gain some traction. And we got a couple retail accounts and it was starting to get some momentum at the shop. And then I thought to myself, wouldn't this be awesome if we could actually send this to people's homes? Like how many people are at home and are like, I want a really awesome pizza right now, but then they have to, drum up their phone or Google or hop online and order a pizza. And then an hour, and $30 or $40 later, it shows up. I'm like, there's a real need in the market right now. And that need is really quality pizza on demand at home. And I thought, let's build an e-commerce business. Let's build a food technology business and let's try to solve that problem.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And we've talked on the show so much about direct-to-consumer companies actually going into CPG and kind of changing the future of what we expect we can have in our fridges, in our freezers, at home. And then even more so, changes what we can expect on time and how quickly we can get something. If I have the option to order from a local pizzeria that can get me what I want in 30 minutes, or Papa John's who can get me maybe what I want in 50 minutes, I would rather go with that local company. And I know that was kind of a consumer shift that happened within the pandemic. And I find it so impressive that you kind of like noticed that. And we're like, oh, this is something that we can really service better than anybody else is doing right now.
Absolutely. My family and my friends and I love ordering our, spectacular pizza from our mom and pop shops. And sometimes we plan that out and we have a couple hours out. But sometimes, we want to be, we don't want to be the only frozen pizza that you eat. We just want to be the best frozen pizza that you eat. And it's safety. It's knowing that you have 2 or 3 really high quality frozen pizza sitting in your freezer that you can make on your time under 10 minutes whenever you want. If that's 6 o'clock in the morning and you want one for breakfast and you want to crack an egg on it, go for it. If that's at midnight and your Netflix marathon of Succession is still going and you're starving and your favorite pizza place is closed, we want to meet you where you are and we want to meet you on your time at your home. And I think that was a really special moment once we started getting real feedback from our customers that said, you're the pizza that I want on my time and you're the pizza that's always there for me. And that started we started taking that really seriously, and it was really heartwarming to hear those types of stories and getting some of that feedback from our customers. And, kids are homeschooling, and moms and dads were like, oh, I put a margarita from General Assembly into the oven, and it was ready in 5 minutes, and my 5-year-old loves it, and he or she wants it for lunch every day. And that's the kind of thing that makes us, so happy, and it feels so humbled that we have that type of acceptance in the market, because on the shelf, the products that we saw, you could barely read half the ingredients on the back, and they just weren't something you'd be really proud to serve your friends and family all the time. And I think that was a huge desire for us to get the pizza subscription off the ground.
That statement of yours is the pizza that is there for me when I want it is like, that's such a heartfelt response. And it makes so much sense of all of these pieces that we've talked about, the high quality ingredients, the focus on the taste, the focus on the experience when you have the pizza, and then being able to offer it anywhere, anytime, how you like it, and still get that visceral general assembly experience that you would have gotten, going into the dine-in store when you couldn't do that during a pandemic, and still having all of that is so powerful. How has the subscription gone? Is it something that is growing and building? Are you planning to continue it kind of if we ever enter this like post-pandemic world? Is it become a pivotal piece of the business, or kind of a reactive something that is holding you over until you can get back to the roots of the business?
From a revenue perspective, it's the biggest revenue generator for our business today.
Wow.
And it's been about 8 months since we launched the pizza subscription back in September of last year. And we have over 5,000 unique orders that we're sending out every month right now.
Wow.
And that's just in 3 postal codes in Toronto. So we are, feeling humbled by the acceptance in the community. And I think, and we believe that the market is only growing. I think customers are becoming hyper aware of what they want to eat. I think the last year they've learned a lot more about slowing down, quality, and making sure that what they're eating is what they want to eat, and they're proud of what they're eating, and they're a lot more self-aware. And I think that the pizza subscription allows people in all different areas of Southern Ontario. They don't have to be within a 10 or 20 minute drive of our restaurant to pick them up. They can just be at home. And 4 clicks away, and in 48 hours they'll show up to your door. So I think that moment is special. I think sending a box into somebody's home with a product that you love is a really special moment when you get to like come into somebody's home. And we probably are the only pizza box that has more than one pizza in it. We can have up to 10 pizzas in one of our boxes. And we take that really seriously, and we know how that's felt at home, and that unboxing experience, and making sure that we're doing our part to make sure that everything above and beyond the pizza is also meaningful and sustainable, and meets our customers where they see their values.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to that service versus hospitality. And I love that you made the difference between those. If service is expected, hospitality is the thing that goes extra and above and beyond. In e-commerce, I think a lot of brands tend to kind of miss on that hospitality section. And it's actually a benefit of going from retail into e-commerce, because you already know that human to human little extra special is what makes the tips go up. It makes the experience in the restaurant go up. So when you go over to e-commerce from that experience in retail, I think it does make it a little bit easier to do e-commerce really, really well, and often better than some people who have been doing only e-commerce for a long time. Can you tell us about that switch and how you make sure that the hospitality and the brand experience that you worked so hard to build in the restaurant bridges into the online experience? You mentioned unboxing, which is a huge part of it. How else have you kind of made sure that your brand narrative and that experience and the hospitality really does shine through, even if they never come into the store?
I think it first and foremost starts with the process. I think that the process of actually ordering the pizza is quite seamless. I think that the product offering is a general assembly product offering. It's classic. It's meat free. It's plant based. Customers have ultimate flexibility, so they can choose any pizzas of however many they want. One. Two, they can choose their own delivery date. So it's not like, hey, we deliver every Saturday, you have to be home. It's, hey, we deliver Monday to Saturday. Pick any day that's convenient for you. Once they choose their delivery date, we've worked really hard with our packaging to make sure that the corrugate box is not a standard corrugate box. It's the perfect size for our pizza. It's recyclable. The liner where the pizzas sit in I call that the pizza duvet, because it's like this white. It looks like
I love that.
It looks like a duvet. It's made out of 100% recycled pop bottles, and you can recycle the whole thing. And I think the other great part about our subscription is that if you want to go from 4 pizzas to 6 to 8, if you want to go from 10 to 4, one click. No problem at all. Very easy to navigate through. If you're up at your cottage for a week or you're visiting friends or family, you can pause it for a week, pick it back up when it's convenient for you. So making sure that experience was as customer focused as possible to make sure that people can navigate through the product on their terms with ultimate flexibility. And then also backing that up. We make mistakes sometimes. Sometimes we'll mess up a pizza or put the wrong pizza in the box, or maybe somebody has feedback. We have a 100% happiness guarantee that it's a no questions asked policy, that if for any part of the journey, if we make it a mistake or you have some constructive feedback, it's yes, of course, no problem. Because we are honored to have the opportunity to serve you as a customer, just like when you come into our restaurant. It's the customers who keep the business alive, and it's an opportunity we take very seriously.
I wish more brands would function in that mindset of it is an honor to have you as a customer and to have the opportunity to serve you something fantastic. I think when you start at that mindset, marketing no longer feels like cheap, hacky marketing. It feels like real relationship building, and you're doing a service for someone. The product doesn't have to change the world. Pizza's not going to end climate change, but not everybody is living their life looking to completely change who they are and change the world. They just want to do things that feel good for themselves. And so coming from that mindset of a customer is not someone who just we're just trying to get them to pay the most that they can possibly pay so we can make more money and we can grow and scale. It's the customer is the most honored piece of this business, because without them, we're not succeeding. That to me is, it's a beautiful mindset. How did you come to that being kind of your sole mindset as you go in? Because I don't think all entrepreneurs have that kind of naturally built in.
I think it comes down to trust. And I think that if you can build a business that is hyper customer focused, and your goal is to build trust with that customer, I think that's a really good foundation for innovation. I think that's a great foundation for customer experience and a great way for your customers with time to build trust with your product and your brand. And we've kind of summed it up in 3 words. We want to make the experience for our customers better, easier, and more delicious. And if we can hit those 3 words with our customers, and if those are the 3 words that shape every single thing we do, whether it's our box, whether it's an email, whether it's the product that we're going to innovate and change on, whether it's our pizza of the month, we want to make sure General Assembly makes your life better, easier, and more delicious.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. So, a little birdie told me that you might have some big news to share. Would you mind telling us a little bit about that and what's going on with you guys right now?
Sure. So our little direct-to-consumer and CPG business soared to some new heights this year, and we were very fortunate to raise some capital in earlier this year, and we completed our Series A, and we raised $13 million to help grow and scale our business. And I'm very happy to tell you today that we are scheduled to go public, and we expect to be trading on the TSX Venture Exchange under the ticker symbol GA on June 3rd, which is 8 days away.
Here we are. It's June 3rd as we're releasing this episode. Congratulations. This must be just such a high moment for you and your team. I can't even imagine kind of the excitement that is around you guys right now. I don't even know what question to ask on this other than just like, how does it feel? How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and I think it's a moment that we'll look at this moment, and we are so happy to have a business and a team of pizza people that has worked tirelessly day in and day out to get us to this point. And it's sort of like a chapter, and it's a chapter that we are really excited to close and then very excited to open, because as soon as we start becoming a public company, the responsibility that we have as an organization goes up, and the responsibility to our shareholders, to our customers, and to every single person who works at General Assembly goes up. And we take that moment really, really seriously. And what we will do is make sure that we meet our shareholders and our customers and our team where they want to be, and we build a business that will be successful quarter after quarter, year after year, because we have a great product and a great brand. But most importantly, we have amazing customers.
Yes. Well, congratulations. I hope that you guys are like popping champagne and spraying it all over everybody. I will make sure your team does like a good champagne spray right at you. I'm gonna send them champagne to make sure this happens. If you could go back to, where you are right now, and the journey started at 18 in Naples, having that pizza. If you had this weird opportunity to go back and sit down with your 18-year-old self at that table, eating that pizza, having that experience, what would you tell yourself?
I would say everything happens for a reason, and never stop following your dreams. Because if you work hard enough, and if you get a whole bunch of luck along the way, there's a real world scenario where your dream might come true. And I'm one of those super, super lucky people where my pizza dreams are coming true.
Yeah. I just have to call out, you've mentioned luck a few times, and while there obviously is a huge part of luck in any entrepreneurial journey, I also think that luck is fostered and it's created. And I think that the luck that has kind of found you is because you have gone about this, 1, focusing on the customer, 2, focusing on your passion, doing the right thing at every move, making great decisions. So you've manifested the luck that allowed you to then chase your dreams. I think that's something very powerful. One final question for you, and we ask every guest on this show. I'm excited to hear your answer because you've had such a journey. What does resilience mean to you?
Resilience means to me the power that you have within to say, you know what? I'm going to try harder. I'm going to try to figure this out. I know that there's a way to come out and overcome this. And that way is taking a step back and looking at your business and looking at that moment and facing it straight on and say, is there a real need right now? Is there a real problem to be solved right now? And I'm not going to stop at anything until I figure out what that need is, and I'm going to try my hardest to solve this problem and use every single tool that I have to do it. Because if I don't, the moment of resilience becomes a moment of regret. And if that moment, if you don't seize that moment and try, then you'll never know. And for an entrepreneur, I think that moment is the moment we all dream of, and the moment that we all, you don't know when it's going to happen, but when it does, you got to go for it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. What a way to wrap an episode. Ali, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you so much for coming on and letting us kind of broadcast your very exciting news. I am so excited for you and your team, and hopefully one day I can get across the border, come up and visit you guys and try this fantastic pizza, because I am a pizza fan.
Thank you so much. Great being here today.